Doug, I know you guys had that Daytona tournament, earlier this year, but 3 games in 3 days is still a little different,
Recording
especially
in progress.
with you guys having been shorthanded in the past. I guess how do you kind of prepare for that?
Yeah, this one kind of snuck up on us. I saw this on the schedule and I said, there's got to be something wrong. Who schedules 3 games in a row? And then so you figure, well, we must be pretty deep. And so you're going to have like 15 players out there and we're going to be pressing in 5 in, 5 out. So obviously, I don't know. It's going to be a handful. You know, you could say, well, we need to manage minutes. We can't. We are who we are. We have who we have, and we're just going to have to dig pretty deep, and we're going to have to play pretty smart over the course of these 3 games. But it's really just, you ready for this? You write this one down. It is 1 game at a time.
Andy, go ahead.
Hey, Doug. I just wanted to check, is Anastasia Hayes going to be available for this stretch?
I hope so. Right now it's 50-50.
And this, I guess, when you get on the other side, imagine the other side of this three games in 3 days. What do you think you're going to learn about this team, considering that you're going to have to dig deep, as you said?
Yeah, I really think we're going to have, and I've been saying this for a while, this is about acquiring information, the players acquiring information, the coaches acquiring information about who we are, what we can do, what we need to do against junk defenses, what we need to do against pressure, how we respond to different situations. And, it's not unlike other teams, but I think we've been able to feel a little bit of everything to have enough information going forward to help us compete in the SEC the best we can.
Robbie, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, I know last week you were dealing with the illnesses and, Anastasia got hurt pre-game and, your girls, I guess, really needed that rest. What did you see from them this week in practice and how have they bounced back from last week?
Very well. They've had good energy, good focus, and it really before that Martin game and kind of a freak accident during the warm-ups with Annie, we just looked at each other and it's like, what can we do? What do we have? We have enough that's in this room. We often keep on looking, well, if I had this, it would be great. And if I had, if I had these other things, if we had a deeper team, then we would be fine. But it's just wasted energy. And I think we're all over it. Again, we have a good idea of who we are. So we're not focusing on those things that we don't have. And hopefully we're appreciating what we do have. When we have Rakia and Maya and Ashley Jones is coming on, and there's a kind of a new sense of purpose with some of those players that maybe didn't know they were even going to get this many minutes. Sometimes when there is a little more adversity, your focus enhances and you pay attention a little bit more. And for sure, as the SEC is looming ahead, our focus is I think, getting better as we go on.
A follow-up, if I can, on that. You mentioned Ashley Jones, and I know she was out of the loop for a couple of weeks, came back in against Oklahoma and got some minutes and played a lot of minutes last week and started. What does she add to the mix?
Yeah, she's a very talented scorer. She can shoot the ball, which helps stretch out the defense, and we definitely need that. And she's kind of finding her way because she's been out, she's been out for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and she's done a really nice job of coming back in the mix and helping out and really whatever we need. And then her defense is improving every day, and her focus is improving, and so I'm really excited about where she is today, and in fact, she had a great practice today, and I'm looking forward to watching her tomorrow.
John, go ahead. Stefan, go ahead.
Kind of just to follow along the lines of what Robbie asked there. I know, last time you guys had that week off, you had, the flu and a bunch of things come up. What was it like kind of this week to have, some extended time off?
Yeah, it was better, just because we got a chance to be on the floor more. So, and again, just we can't space the floor well enough. We can't cut well enough. We can't be average at those things. There are going to be some things in this in the games where we can't match up, or either we size or whatever. But there are the things that we can control, and spacing that floor and passing it, and then our conversion defense getting two back. Again, the last time we talked, or maybe it was a couple times ago, we said, we want to be in alignment. Things that we say, they can't just be on the board. Like, we have to be able to do that on the floor, and that's got to be part of our DNA. That's got to be part of breathing. And so this week, I felt like we're getting closer to that. Those things that we really do think are important, the players know they're important. Everybody on the bench, every coach is on the same page, and getting those two people back defensively, 3 to the glass, gives us a chance to compete, so that they have to go against 5 of our defenders, and then offensively keep that ball moving and keep the players moving, instead of letting people just match up and shell up against us.
And just to follow up, this week, are you guys just going to be at the hump for 72 hours straight? You'll be watching film or watching the other games? How do you kind of, divide all that up?
Yeah, obviously we've worked in advance to have all those scouting reports done, but basically that's what we're going to do. And again, I can't remember the last time we played 3 games in a row. It's been a while, maybe in my junior college days coaching. But, fortunately, a couple of the teams are similar in what they do, so one scouting report might be able to go further than most, but it really is about those deficiencies that I think we have with our transition defense and our cutting and spacing. And so regardless of who we're playing, those were going to be the 2 main focuses anyway. And you can only focus on so many things, and most of the time, if you start trying to solve every problem, you just created more. We're trying to solve these 2, and these are 2 that they're solvable problems. And a lot of times when you do that, it takes care of a myriad of problems, a myriad of things.
We have time for a couple more. John, go ahead.
Doug, what have you seen from Maya this year? How would you assess her play?
First and foremost, a tremendous leader, and her shooting is really coming around. And don't look at the stats. Stats are deceiving. She'd worked so hard over the summer on her shot, and she was so eager to prove that she could shoot it, that she was probably shooting maybe a couple too early. And anxious, and now that part of the game is slowing down for her. So her ability to space the floor with her shot will come around, I believe, and it really has in practice. But that's like dessert when she does that. It's really about leading a team, both on the offensive side and the defensive side. She's a one-man wrecking crew defensively. She can save us, and she can save some of the new players as we're trying to develop a defensive identity. So when you have a leader like that, it's hard to put a price tag on it, because she's whispering or yelling or nudging or pushing some other players around defensively to help them out, or covering up some things. And so, with each game, everybody else is kind of, I don't want to say coming up to her level, but she raises the intensity on that defensive side for the rest of us, and she gives us all confidence that we can play and develop that sound. That's why it's so important that we get some people back, and because between she and Rakia, they can really help out defensively, and Danae Carter has really been coming on, from that center or 4 position, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, Maya's been tremendous.
And a quick follow-up to that, you mentioned getting a few players back there, but I mean, the whole depth side of things here. How frustrating has that been for you from the coach's side, and how have you kind of mentally approached the depth issues?
Yeah, it'd be really frustrating if I thought about it a lot. I just choose not to think about it. And yeah, the only time I really think about it or talk about it is when you guys bring it up, or my 8-year-old daughter asked me the other night, she goes, "Dad, you ever have this happen before?" And it's like, not really. Shouldn't you be watching Barney or something? So I would really rather just focus on what we have, and so I try not to put a lot of thought into it, other than how we need to play to be as competitive as we can be.
Thank you.
We'll go ahead and wrap things up with Andy.
Is your 8-year-old a big basketball mind? Is she the next coach in the family?
She might be. She always acts like she's not paying attention, and then she'll just break out some things like all kids. They watch everything. They watch your mannerisms. They watch how you treat other people. They watch how you talk to your team, and you think that they don't care. They care deeply. They're watching it all. So, yeah, she sticks me a few times. The very first time I think we won a championship, and she was just old enough to remember, and so she was so excited, and she was hugging me, and it was the greatest thing. The next year we're in the championship game again, and so she just thinks that's what's supposed to happen. And so the game's over, and she really doesn't know the score. She just thought, well, we won because we always win. And so she comes up and she found out we lost. And so I'm sad we lost. And she's sobbing. She's in tears, and I can't console her. And so I have to get my wife over there and take her. And it was just, I was like, well, you need to learn how to lose now, because it's going to happen if we're going to stay in this profession.
How frequently can you kind of like have her around? I mean, I assume she's in school and stuff like that, but like is she pretty involved in like at the hump and stuff like that, or can she go to games?
Yeah, she's always dying to come over to the office and hang out, and she went on that Daytona trip, and to be honest with you, I was excited because I thought I'd be able to spend some time with her, but she spent time with all of our players, and so on the plane ride, on the bus, she never sat with me. She was always with the players, and she had all kinds of new best friends, and she thinks she has like 14 different sisters now, and so it's a fun thing for a young child to be involved in college athletics, and our girls are fantastic with her, and I'm a pretty lucky dad to be involved in this situation.